Warning, this video is rated HLYO, also known as Honest Lego YouTuber's Opinion. Please note this video is to be funny about myself. Enjoy. LOL. Introducing Kai, Master of Fire. Lloyd, Master of being possessed by Moro. Zane, Master of taking down the Overlord. Jay, Master of pirates. Nia, Master of breaking Cole and Jay's heart. And their senseis who helped them do this, Garadon, Misako, and Wu, and their assistants, Dara, Soto, and Skylar, and some guy with Soul Archer's body armor and a skull face. Cole, Master of being a ghost. And a statue that turns into a fake version of Sensei Yang. Episode 2, Return of the Golden Master again! Old guy called First Benjitsu Master, who created Ninjago, Cole the Dragon, who is turned evil. Jay, also on a dragon. Jay trying to convince Cole to not steal the realm crystal. Cole, who thinks otherwise and doesn't care what Jay thinks because he's just moving his arm back and forth. And he does that repeatedly. And several times more. And then the camera moves down. And then it moves down again. And then Cole does air jitsu just to learn that when he does air jitsu, he forgets that Jay can do it too. And they both crash into each other, which also leads Jay crazily crashing into Zane, and Lloyd saying something totally random. And then it's back to Cole lifting his arm up. And then running toward the realm crystal. And then Zane trying to stop him and talk sense into one of his best friends. But Cole thinks otherwise. And then he uses his earth powers to push Zane. Then he gets the realm crystal. And Zane's like, no, don't, please. And then they're like, oh no, please don't do this. They're still like, Cole, don't do this. And even though they say that, the Overlord returns anyway, and he's like, bow to your golden master. And then he introduces the guy that we saw in the intro that we don't know who his name is. Actually, he does say his name. It's the Shadow Raider, which also reminds me of someone familiar. And then the guy randomly forces the ninja on the ground using the Force. And then Cole gives the Overlord the realm crystal. And then Zane is like, you won't get away with this! And Cole is fighting him again. And just randomly swings him into the old man's tomb. And then we have a scene switch with Captain Soto. And him just moving his arm. And he's got the teapot of Tyran on the mystical island of Tiger Widow with Misfortune's Keep. Then we have more of Captain Soto in the same place. And then he turns around and is like, I have nowhere to put this magical lamp. And then he goes into the island temple and is like, "Oh, I'm so bored." And then Chen and Ronan randomly show up. And they're about to cause trouble, and Jen's like, "I know that ship. That's Miss Fortune's Keep." And Ronan's like, "Yes, Captain Obvious. It is." But that ship was abandoned. And then Ronan's like, "Somebody's here. I sense it because they can use the Force." And then Soto shows up out of nowhere. And he raises his yellow arm. And then Ronan's like, "Ah, it's Soto." And then Soto randomly gets a sword. And then he raises his hook hand. And then they're randomly talking to each other, still. And then he just gets hit. Ronan just gets hit by a random invisible thing. And then the Sky Pirates show up. And then Captain Soto's like, "Yeah, Sky Pirates." And they're like, "I hate Sky Pirates." And they were like, I here to save you." And then Flintlock comes in. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm here, Captain Obvious." And he's like, "Who did you expect, Han Solo?" And then they're like, "Oh no, we're doomed." And then they're like, "If I wanted it, you'd be dead already, but I need your help." And they're still like, "Please don't kill us." And then Flintlock's, "Fine, I'll have mercy on you this time." And Chen, he's now wanting to escape. And then he raises his arm up and like, "Yes." And then he runs over to the Raid Zeppelin. And he tries to figure out how to control the Raid Zeppelin. And then they're like, "No, please don't take that ship." And then Dogshank comes in. And she is not a lady. And then 5 minutes, she is a lady, ready to pound Chen into the ground. And Chen's like, "No, please don't do that to me." And she's gonna do that anyway, and he's pleading for his life not to be thrown into the ocean. And an epic cliffhanger. Credits. Thanks for watching. Directed by Legoshowtv, which I already knew that. Starring Legoshowtv. I already knew that too. Credits. Next, Sky Crew. Sounds legit for a next episode name. Soundtrack, Bring on the Pirates by The Fold. All credit goes to them. Pretty long name for a song. Credits. Thanks for watching. I'm not gonna read that because that's just totally boring. And we're looking for after credit scenes. Oh, there is none. Starring the following videos on this guy's channel. I'm Batman.
What about the Force?
And we can't forget about... It's windy out here. Definitely windy. Woo! I'm get blown away. Created by Legoshowtv himself. Legoshowtv, more like Lego Crazy TV. Now, if you like this Lego Honest trailer, check out more Lego Honest trailers. coming your way if you'd like it. Bye.